On this Saturday afternoon in South Huntington, there's a lot of Friar power on the field. Malvern Prep comes from the Philly area with a 10-2 record, number 8 overall in the country by USA Lacrosse, taking on the Friars of St. Anthony's, who are 5-3 on the season and number 11 overall in the country. A national powerhouse game here on Long Island. Today's showdown is sponsored by the Orr Steak and Seafood Grill, as well as Innovative Kitchens and Heron Law. Well, good afternoon, everyone. So happy you're able to join us here on a Saturday afternoon. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper with you. It is another one of these showdowns, right? If you are a high school lacrosse fan, and of course you are, you're watching here, these are the games that you circle, right? It's Malvern Prep, it's St. Anthony's, so many things that are similar, not just the nickname, right? In terms of how good these teams are, the programs, the history, the Division I athletes. So much is alike between these two sides.
Just two areas of lacrosse that have just become hotbeds, right? The Philly area, just sending a ton of guys to really great schools, and St. Anthony's, right, has that great reputation. Little bragging rights on the line, right? Philly versus New York here, Long Island. But both teams, I think, very similar strengths, right? Defensively, both teams have been very good, and I think both offenses are going to have to work really hard to score against these talented defenses. We're in for a great one here today.
Yeah, you've got snipers, we've got snipers. Yeah. You got short stick D-middies, we've got short stick D-middies. As we take a look at the Friars of Malvern Prep, as we said, 10-2 on the season. They did play yesterday afternoon. They beat Penn Charter pretty handily, but consider their only 2 losses on the road to Brunswick, losing to Lawrenceville. Those are always 2 of the top teams in the country. This Malvern Prep team is absolutely loaded this year.
Yeah, and, they're only giving up 6.3 goals per game playing against that schedule. Boys Latin, Calvert Hall, Chaminade, Lawrenceville, Brunswick. So you got to bring your A game if you're going to score against this defense. St. Anthony's, kind of a team that's playing that schedule. Depth's been tested this year, but had a really strong first half against Don Bosco. Kind of the MO lately is kind of start strong and let teams hang around. Coach Weiserick wants the team to play a full 4 quarters today, and that's what it's going to take to beat the Friars.
Malvern Prep right now playing probably its best lacrosse of the season to date. They are dealing with some injuries, but certainly they have the depth on this squad. 2 guys are going to lean on today are both bound for South Bend. On the offensive side, Danny Riley, and then Dylan Novak on the defensive side. Yeah,
2 Golden Domers, 2 of the best players in the country at their respected positions. Riley's a throwback. He's made of all the right stuff, does it the right way. Looking for him to play 2 ways today and really try to dominate the middle of the field. And Novak, size, range, football player as well. For a team that's built on defense, only giving up 6.3. Novak's a huge reason for that, and we know how high-flying the St. Anthony's offense is, so he's got to bring his game here to Wolf Hill Road.
So that's Malvern Prep. We take a look at St. Anthony's now, 5-3 on the season. Back-to-back wins for these Friars, beating Staples last Saturday, and then that win against Don Bosco. An interesting one there, too, right? Both games similar in that St. Anthony scores 9 goals to take a sizable lead, to only have the opposition now come back, storm back. That was the case with Bosco. They cut it to 1, and St. Anthony's ultimately held on for that win.
Just, it's a momentum game, and the big thing for St. Anthony's, as we'll go through later, is at the face-off X, trying to maximize on their possessions. It's going to be a big deal today in this game versus these 2 powerhouses.
2 guys that these Friars will lean on today. It's the brothers Johnston, who both had an excellent game against Don Bosco.
Yeah, Johnston and Johnston, as good as it gets. Jake heading to Hopkins, one of the best 2-way middies in the entire country. And how good was Gavin Johnson against Don Bosco? Not only playing solid D, but taking it away, scooping it up. The D middies played great against Bosco to preserve that win. Gavin heading to Anderson in South Carolina. They are getting an absolute steal in Gavin Johnston, as advertised Jake all season. The MVP, I think, of this St. Anthony's team.
expect to see a lot of Jake on the defensive side today as well, joining with Gavin, and you've got Brody Richard as well. As we said, terrific short stick D-middies really on both sides on this one. Another reason why this one is such a fun matchup. We took a let's take a look at the starters first for the visitors from Malvern Prep. It starts up front with Danny Lukovic, Penn State commit, 2-year starter, the total package. Joey Murphy, the sophomore, a coach's son. We'll talk more about that. Tommy Onderdunk rounds out your starting attack line. Your first midfield, Jamie McCracken. We mentioned Danny Riley before, and the lefty junior, Connor McCarthy. At long stick, D-midi, it's Max Del Vescovo, the exceptional sophomore, very well could be a 5-star guy coming up pretty soon. And then in close D, this is where the strength of this Friars team is. We mentioned Novak before, Mac Crawford bound for Richmond, Kevin Pithath going to join his brother Brad at Penn State. And in the goal, Thomas Plaze heading to Villanova.
Plaze, senior, like you said, heading to Villanova, team leader, a captain. He's a golfer, so he has that mindset to really lock in, and he's going to need to be really good today. But what a great clear of the lacrosse ball, saving it around 65% this year. Originally a Yale commit. He's going to stay home at Villanova. What a great get for Villanova, right? He is a great big-time goalie.
And the head coach of Malvern Prep in his 4th season, it's Matt McCready's. He is a Malvern Prep grad, 2008. Spent 9 years as an assistant coach under John McAvoy, a guy who played at Penn State, played in the pros. He's also an assistant coach with the Carolina Chaos. And how about this kind of embarrassment of riches for an assistant coaching staff? You've got Mike Murphy is your DC. He last year was coaching UPenn. You've got Quinn McCann, another Malvern grad, a guy who won a national championship at Notre Dame. Ryan McNulty, a 4-time captain at Loyola, works with the defense. Mary Fran Frankenheim is a coordinator, box, conditioning. And then Dave Marks works with the offense, and Kevin Gallagher works with the box.
Coach Murphy, not only did he coach at Penn, he's the all-time leading Penn wins, right? 109. 16 years at Penn, a Duke grad. What a great guy to have on the staff for Malvern.
And for St. Anthony's, here are your starters. Up front, Danny Rooney, Charlie Caciabato, and Dylan Harrigan. Your first midfield line, Jake Johnston, Aiden Dale, and Billy Atkinson. A long stick D-midi, Ryan Lasko having an excellent season. And then how about this close defensive line, right? Ethan Bramoff, Patrick Herron, and great to see Dave McHugh back in to the starting lineup. The starting goalie for the Friars today, it is Nick Zenk's opportunity in the cage.
Zank saving it at 58%. St. Anthony's has a great goalie room. They all root for each other. Zank, a senior, heading to Air Force from a goalie family. Sister Lexi is at UNC. All this family does is save, save, save. Going to need to make about 15 today to beat the Malvern Friars.
It is the Friars of Malvern Prep. The Friars of St. Anthony's. The head coach for the Friars of St. Anthony's. It is Keith Weiserick, of course. You see him there in the huddle. 27th season and 1986 graduate of St. Anthony's. 361 overall career wins. His assistant coaches, J.M. Simpson is your defensive coordinator. Doug Schreiber is your OC. You've got Brendan Homeyer working with the offense. Richie Reichert Jr. with the defense. And Jack Kincannon with the goalies. Malvern Prep, St. Anthony's, a battle of national powerhouses. We'll have our keys to the game in the opening face-off when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew here as Malvern Prep and St. Anthony's get set here for this battle of national powerhouses. Soap, we spoke with both head coaches before the start of this one. Here's what they identified as their three keys to this one.
Yeah, Malvern Prep wants to own possession time. They want to clear efficiently, right? Good decision making. One line that I love was in terms of shooting and possessions, right? It's all about good shots, right? Be selective but aggressive. That's the mindset for Malvern Prep coming into this game. St. Anthony's increased face-off percentage. They're dealing with injuries there, moving some guys around. Wing play, saved them a bit against Bosco. Get it somewhere near 30-40%. Clear at 80 to 90%. Improved shot selection. The one thing Coach Weiser kind of scratches his head about the lack of finishing on this team. They're hoping to right those ways today.
So getting set here for the beginning of this one, and you see 43 on the other side. This is the part of the conversation we had, right? Who's going to face off for the Friars? Nate Cook will get the first look. Again, Robbie Johnson out, Paulie Lanigro out. They had a little bit of like a face-off academy working out here yesterday to try to figure that situation out. Facing off for Malvern, it's a good one. TJ McDermott, the junior, bound for Richmond. And McDermott gets the face-off win and Malvern Prep will start off on offense. That's Joey Murphy. We mentioned Coach's son. Yeah, that's his dad on the staff.
So Richard and Gavin Johnson, the shorties for St. Anthony's.
Here comes Connor McCarthy.
They need to be really good today against this high-powered Malvern Prep offense.
McCracken. And there's Riley, tries to sting it up high and wide.
Great little two-man action between McCracken and Riley. Riley, look at the size of him and the ability. You see why Notre Dame scooped him up.
There's Riley. He's got Richard on him, at least for now. Then an errant pass by McCracken, and it will be St. Anthony's ball.
Yeah, good to see David McHugh back, the senior, heading to Hobart, lunch pail type defender.
Yeah, the Friars, not necessarily at the faceoff X, but in other positions getting healthier, right? We're going to see Anthony Mancaruso as well back after that shoulder injury he had right now as he's working his way back, running with that second midfield line.
Nice clear by Zank. Fired a fastball in there to Richard. Richard just does everything for this team. Defensively in between the lines, wings.
You mentioned those short stick D-middies. They are good for Malvern, certainly between Eddie Rudloff and George Laskowski. Coming downhill is Dale. Dale goes high, and Plaze makes the save.
Great position by Plaze. Just a leader. You see him orchestrating the team. Has great body language. Great first stop. Controlled the rebound. Leads to a successful clear.
I figured D1 bound goalie loves golf. You guys should be like
Yes.
BFFs. As now it's part of the second midfield unit coming in. That's Chase Deves, number 50. Brady Whalen, part of that. And then a little bit of a mix because of an injury. There's going to be a rotation on that third spot on that second midfield line. Here's Joey Murphy. Murphy, McHugh gets a few whacks in. Deves behind the cage. Little shake and bake by Whalen. The Merrimack commit. Dawson Krause, the lefty, the junior. Slide comes his way, and he just gets eaten up.
Great slide, great anticipation by Navy-bound Pat Herron. He's been so good this year, not only in the 6-on-6, but the clear, well-timed. Referees deemed that he was kind of turning. That's why it wasn't a push.
And then a flag is thrown. Looks like for the Friars offside there as, well, I can't say Friars, right? St. Anthony's was
Which
offside.
one?
Yeah, exactly. So another chance for Malvern. And there is Danny Riley.
Riley, captain of this team, kind of like the Energizer Bunny.
McCarthy looks to the cage. That shot, good backup there. That another opportunity off the bar. That was Murphy.
This is where Bramoff excels. Harrigan! Ethan Bramoff lives in transition. Had an assist against Bosco. I'm giving him assists for sure on this one to Harrigan. His 5th assist on the year, catch and shoot. Maryland Terp has an absolute left-handed rocket. Got to keep St. Anthony's Friars out of transition. That is their bread and butter. Bramoff to Harrigan.
Yeah, Terp to Terp there as Bramoff picks up his 4th assist of the year. That speaks to what you said about him in transition, and Harrigan gets goal number 12. Another face-off win for Malvern.
Harrigan had 28 goals last year for St. Anthony's. When you need a big goal, Harrigan's the guy.
Whalen will take Gavin Johnston behind. Whalen is a guy who is all motor. Scored a big goal against Malvern's kind of Chaminade rival, if you will, Haverford.
A lot of off-ball action by Malvern Prep.
Murphy to X.
3 or 4 guys inside, constantly moving, using each other's picks.
Yeah, nobody is static. Lukovic from behind the cage draws the double and loses it. Here comes Johnston the other way.
Yeah, Gavin picking up right where he left off against Bosco, him and Bramoff.
Richard, good decision to get it to Harrigan. And another flag is thrown.
First time seeing St. Anthony's in the 6-on-6.
Harrigan, your goal scorer. Gets it to Rooney. What a job he's done from X. Rooney!
Rooney's game lately has gone to the moon, an absolute rocket ship lately. He's going against Dylan Novak, Notre Dame commit, 6'4", uses his speed and athleticism, a little rub pick, a little razor pick at GLE, frees him up. What a great shot by him, low and away. Rooney's been sensational the last few games for St. Anthony's. His 14th goal on the year, 15th goal, 32nd point.
Malvern, another face-off win.
Yeah, that was Matt Conley, the senior, going to Lehigh. Wrestled heavyweight, even though he's not a heavyweight. Shows you how tough that kid is.
So now it's Riley. Look at that stick check. Bramoff. Heron picks up the GB.
Bramoff loves these types of matchups. He absolutely studies his opponents. Well-timed check there.
Yeah, and he looks right to his bench and gets them going. A juice moment there for Bramoff. And he and Heron will have a little dap. Good job, boys, they're saying to each other. Here comes Dale. Absolute wheels on Aiden Dale. Now Rooney. He's got a defender hung up and a flag. I think there was they stopped it, I think, because of a crease violation. So this will be a 30-second.
Penalty on Malvern Prep, 30 seconds.
Man up for St. Anthony's.
Laskowski kind of ran up behind a St. Anthony's player, pushed him in the back. Senior heading to Penn State.
St. Anthony's on the season just under 43% with the extra man.
Where is number 12?
Here's Rooney. Dale, save. Rebound, BTB.
Huge save by Plaze. Got the BTB from Johnston after the step down by Dale. Dale's really showed us his range this year, especially on man up. Not afraid to shoot it. One of the best sophomores in the country.
We're even. Harrigan, ooh, that was eaten.
Eleven won't rub it. He's tough.
Yeah, Novak is a big boy. There you see him right there on your screen. Heading to Notre Dame, a lot of colleges were like, hey, listen, you want to play a little football with us? You can come and play both.
He was great in that Chaminade win. Saw Gillis, really great recruit, going to Duke, go against him a bunch. That was a great matchup, and he did very well.
Notre Dame has not shied away, right? And using lacrosse guys.
Yeah, how about, there'll be a teammate of Walsh, down in Chaminade. That'd be a great little defense and goalie combination.
Johnson, that shot on frame. So is that one from Dale. 2 more saves for Plaze.
Yeah, absolutely locked in. You see him tracking the ball well. Really love the way he's moving in the cage. And this is where he excels in the clear, an absolute quarterback.
And a good clear from Malvern Prep.
Malvern's shown a lot of patience on the offensive end.
There's McCracken. Bound for Brown.
Very skilled player, two-handed.
McCarthy wants to try to take advantage of Dale there. Goes low to high as Malvern gets on the scoreboard.
We've seen patience out of Malvern. I think a little more aggressive is the right play for them because they're getting good looks. What a great rollback. Connor McCarthy, what a great story off an ACL injury from last year. Right away kind of set the tone for Coach McCready, scoring a G, saying, yeah, I'm here, I'm back. And it's great to see him gaining more and more confidence with each game. That was a heck of a rollback and sting in the top corner.
Yeah, that was the second day of tryouts last year. Was excellent, right? Certainly one of the best midfielders of his age group at tryouts. He was making the team and then had that ACL injury, rehab for the next 9 to 12 months. Then he comes back for tryouts, which really was a formality. It was really more practice for him and was even better than he was before. Face-off win for the St. Anthony's.
That play was such high IQ for Bramhoff. Lasko goosed it back to him, but Bramhoff couldn't leave the box because there was no possession. He waited, dangled. Those two guys together, Lasko and Bramhoff, have been special.
Here's Harrigan.
Right away, I think you're St. Anthony's just saying, listen, we got a goalie who we're playing against who's locked in.
Oh, man. You want to talk about locked in right now. Danny Rooney.
Yeah, it's like you see the radar, right? The locked in scope.
Prior goal scored in the 24.
His speed is his best weapon. And with his ability to shoot the ball like that, makes him a very difficult cover. Coach Weiserick speaks so highly of him in his game and how he's elevated his senior year against a really good goalie to ping that corner like that. Special, special shot by 2-4.
I love the line that he said too, right? No off switch in 2-4.
Cook and McDermott for face-off.
Against Bosco, right? He had 3 assists, right? He's shown the ability to come out today and lock and load.
Good knockdown by Harrigan.
This is where, he knocked that down. We talk about special sophomores, right? Max Del Vescovo is one of the best in the 28 class in terms of long stick midi prospects. Great stick, great motor.
And so is there not a better explanation of why it's not just the face-off, right? It's about winning possession off the face-off and St. Anthony's, you might have lost the clamp, but you get the ball back.
And that's the attack, right? It's not just the 3 guys at the stripe. It's the attack gets involved there.
Dale to Harrigan. Inside the final minute of the first quarter. Harrigan, that shot high. Having a lot to do with that was Kevin Pithath.
Yeah, Penn State commit. Doesn't get beat much. Coach McCready says he's got one of the best sticks on the team.
Rooney off the screen. Gets it back to Atkinson. Another opportunity for the Friars. Bouncer. That goes wide. Rooney. He's got Novak on him. Harrigan. Spins. Slow bouncer is wide. At the 11th shot of this quarter for St. Anthony's. Atkinson. The feed BTB was that, or a quick stick at least from Cacciabato?
He tried it around the world.
And that's a shot clock against St. Anthony's. And now they've got to defend here for 9 seconds. And Malvern's got the dudes to push the pace and get upfield quick, that is for sure. Give it to 11, let him go. Here's Riley. And Riley will try to fire it from midfield. Rooney got a piece. And Zank will just return to sender.
At the end of the first quarter, St. Anthony's.
But how about that first
3-1.
quarter for St. Anthony's, and especially for 2-4 in white?
Dan's been the man for St. Anthony's in the first quarter. Right, gets a pick at GLE, snipes it low. Watch this missile coming in. Heat seeker to the corner. Will scrape the ground, feeling it. Great start for St. Anthony's.
Second quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Welcome back to St. Anthony's. Friars lead this one 3-1 at the end of the first quarter. For over 25 years, award-winning Innovative Kitchens has helped Long Island homeowners create kitchens and baths defined by timeless design, exceptional craftsmanship, and effortless functionality. Discover cabinetry curated to your lifestyle and budget. Pair with premium countertops and complete your space with thoughtfully selected fixtures and cabinet hardware. All coordinated by one experienced team for a seamless start-to-finish experience. We are now your go-to wallpaper store as well. Visit our new expanded showroom today. When scheduling a design consultation, mention if your child attends St. Anthony's High School for a special discount.
Talk about wallpaper. Rooney's been wallpapering some corners so far.
From Malvern, number 16, TJ McDermott. St. Anthony's, number 46, Nate Cook.
That a clean face-off win from McDermott. Goes to the cage. McDermott lost it, and it gets into Zank's stick.
Yeah, I think that's one that Coach, he talked to us about being, selective but aggressive. That was definitely not the greatest take. Leads to a possession for St. Anthony's.
And on the other side, Weiser was talking about also being selective in terms of shots, right? Being aware of time and score, and maybe that wasn't the case at moments against Bosco. A shot from distance the goalie can see with 46 in the shot clock, I don't think is the one you want to take.
Oh.
But that's the one you want to take. 2-4's got a green light whenever he wants.
I want to know what Danny Rooney ate for breakfast today. Absolutely firing, mixing up his shots, high, low.
His third of the game. Throw your hats.
It's a hat trick for Rooney. Just watch the placement of the shot. Comes off, gets a sweep. Second time he's used a pick. Just low and away, just perfectly placed. No goalie in the country is getting that one.
And it's interesting because Weiserick has lamented on the fact that from like 6-8 yards, really, and no one but Cacciabato clean win on that faceoff for Matt Connolly. But no one has really been able to consistently get their shots on cage from in tight.
Just one of those things that just as the year goes on, you just scratch your head. You're like, we get so many good looks, we just can't can them. A team that probably has been getting better looks than nine goals a game would show.
Trying to round the cage there was Joey Murphy. Loose ball. And Richard, the takeaway. Here comes Bramoff. Bramoff, bouncer. And McCready's livid on the other side, wanting a flag.
Yeah, wanting a flag or a hold. Bramoff went like over the head.
First midfield back on. Jake Johnston to Atkinson. And now it's Harrigan. Harrigan, that is wide. And it's funny, so these two teams, as you said, different areas, right? Philly, Long Island, they've played these last 3 years every year. So there is some familiarity there, but like, as you mentioned, right, everyone knows the stars and the commits, and like all these guys know each other pretty well from the circuit.
They know 77 pretty well. Jake Johnson had 6 goals last year against Malvern Prep. But it seems like Billy Atkinson, number 8's been the designated pick man in the first half, has set some really good ones to free up some really great opportunities.
Rooney pumps the brakes, finds Atkinson, return to sender. Now Rooney, off the bar! Where's the video replay? And it's a goal! Snuck it under the crossbar.
That was one of the wickedest shots I've seen all year. Rooney shot out of a cannon and absolutely like double pipes to hit the inside of the net. Again, he gets a shorty here, the way he's been playing. Oh, absolute hammer job to the top corner.
So apparently the winner of, as you see another look at it there, the winner of the Face-Off Academy Challenge was number 55, Jake Dorsa, the freshman. He takes his first varsity face-off now against Connolly. Last year faced off for Carey as an 8th grader. All right, that's a win for Malvern, but good job by the kid.
You see Del Vescovo off the wing, stepping up huge. Big loss for Malvern with Sam Kelleher going down with an ACL on Friday.
Timeout for Malvern. They look to regroup here, down 5-1. Heron Law proudly wishes St. Anthony's varsity boys lacrosse a successful 2026 season. Heron Law offers personal, goal-oriented legal services built on faith, family, and home, with offices in East Islip and Hauppauge. You mentioned the ACL injury, and Malvern has been dealing with a lot this year. You see those baby blue wristbands. That is to remember one of their own, Kevin Donahue, nicknamed KT. Just a horrific situation. First day of school, driving there with his mom, and a deer hits the car, lost his life the first day of his junior season. The wristband there, it says LLKT, live like KT. He wore number 32, and so moving forward, the player who embodies and plays like KT with grit and pride and humility and does all the right things all the time, is a great kid off the field. They're going to be honored, that number 32. It's going to start this year with an end-of-year ceremony for a junior, so he'll wear it in his senior season. And Coach McCready says we try to LLKT every day.
Unfortunately, I dealt with that at UMass. We lost a fellow teammate, Eric Supercasa, and it's a tragedy. But one of the things that it does is it brings a team really, really close together.
Riley to X, and there's the finish by Lukovic, and that's what you want, right? Right out of a timeout to get the response like that.
Hey, listen, there's no shock. You're talking about KT, live like KT, right? And they come out and they score a goal. That's amazing stuff. It starts with Riley, broken stick by Richard. You see what a great job catching it. You catch the ball on the move, right? Lukovic Jr. heading to Penn State, the full package. Tons of experience. I love how he caught that ball, ran through a check, and buried it.
Yeah, consider this, right? He's still just a junior, but because he's been on the varsity since his freshman, this is like his 50th, 60th varsity game, right? What tremendous experience he has, and especially, too, when you consider the schedule that Malvern Prep plays.
Yeah, leader of the offense, shoots the ball over 50%. That's big-time stuff.
And the freshman gets the face-off win. But the ball goes the other way.
That's crazy, right? You win face-offs, you don't get the possession, and vice versa.
So after getting a goal, now Malvern looks to try to chip away. As Lukovic hands off to McCracken.
Seeing the second midfield here, Coach McCready's talked about, brutal schedule, a lot of games still to play.
Riley switches hands, and Zank makes the save.
Yeah, best save of the day by Zank. Real athletic kid, goes down low, smushes it like a grape. But you've seen a little bit of energy here by Riley. He's the captain for a reason.
And the ride creating issues as Bramoff just airmails it.
Uh-oh.
Look out,
Uh-oh.
Watch the bounce.
He's a golfer.
Oh, my.
Plaze's a golfer, right? That was like a little sand wedge flop. Not sure how to play it.
Neither did Griffin, right? Like, he's like, can I just have a dunk here at the net?
If you can get a goal here, if you're Malvern Prep, you kind of feel the momentum going the way of Gray right now. A goal would be huge for them.
And here's McCracken. Back to Riley. Riley gets hammered by McHugh, and that might be where the flag is. Late hit by McHugh. So a man-up opportunity for Malvern Prep now.
You see the unselfishness of Riley. He made a great move there. I thought he could have probably shot that, passed it off, drew the flag. Just a great kid, captain, gifted. Coaches in the youth program, right? I have a buddy of mine, Paul Pagan, played at Adelphi with me. His son Andrew, a 2032, gets coached up by Riley in the summer, and just a great kid. You see why Notre Dame is all over him.
You mentioned that Chaminade game before, right? Double overtime. How about Riley scores 4 in that one, including the double overtime winner?
Yeah, it just brings the energy. Another PA guy, Ryan Terafenko.
Oh, there he is.
Reminds me of him in terms of the juice that he brings to the lineup. 51 the last 3 minutes. He's taken over this game.
And Riley gets the feed from Lukovic, and he buries the man-up goal.
See why Lukovic is the real deal, full package, feeds it to the crease. But Riley, finds a center cut there, buries the rock.
So back to face-off, it'll be Cook
McDermott for Malvern.
and McDermott.
St. Anthony's on the
Yeah, Riley at 4-3 versus Haverford, 4 versus Chaminade. He knows a thing or two about big games.
And there's the wing play again.
Yeah, Delvescovo is really good. They have 3 great sophomore polls. They lost Kelleher, they have Delvescovo, and they have Downs.
Yeah, Deegan Downs. Scored the first goal of the game against Episcopal.
I've arrived.
Yeah, really.
Next man up. Usually you say that. You say just do a good job, not go in there and rip a G.
Yeah. Do your job. Play within yourself. Hang on, coach. I'm going to the cage.
Yeah, both these squads, long stick middies, looking to get some action. We might have a pole goal in our future.
McCarthy to X. Feed goes up top to Murphy.
Whoa.
Whoa, little shake, little bake, and the finish by Riley.
Some things you can't teach, and that's athleticism. That's a shake.
Malvern goal scored by number 51, Dan Riley.
Big game today for Coach Corrigan and Wellner against Duke. 51's going to look good with a golden dome. That's one of the best short sticks we've seen all year, right? Richard, head to Towson, puts it in his left hand to increase his angle. Juice, juice, juice out of 5-1.
So that 5-1 score is now 5-4. Griffin gooses it to himself. Still loose. Harrigan looks to battle. Shoulders it. It goes out. Which way are we going?
Nothing.
St. Anthony's ball.
Nothing better than this. Two highly ranked teams from areas with a lot of pride getting after it.
It's Dale. Now Rooney. We've seen this before with Gavin Snyder now working behind the cage, which gives Rooney an opportunity to go back to the wing. Rooney up top to Johnston. Jake back to Billy Atkinson. Now it's Rooney. Novak on him. Rooney. Ooh, just missed.
Rooney's just put a lot of pressure on the defense, whether it's with picks or without picks. When a guy's hot shooting the ball, you might get 2 or 3 guys to slide, and then with Rooney's vision, he might look to pick them apart in the feed game.
Here's Harrigan. Weiserick told us we're trying to get Gavin Snyder some more minutes. He's out there now. Circles toward the cage with Harrigan back. Here comes Rooney. Rooney, jump shot. That was all Novak, though.
Yeah, it must be nice to be 6'4", 220, to use that range. He uses his length very well as a defender.
Has really improved his lateral movement as well this year.
Just, you can't teach that range, right? 6'4", long.
Rooney puts it off of Novak.
Sure hasn't played dodgeball, too, Novak? Gotten hit twice so far.
If you line up all the Malvern guys from the end zone to end zone, Novak might be winning that race. Winning the race to the goal, though, Gavin Snyder. Yeah, he deserves some extra minutes.
6'2", heading to Army.
Goal scored by number 22, Gavin
Had an assist
Snyder.
against Bosco from a Lacrosse family. Brother Tommy's at UVA.
That jump shot, Sal Logano has seen that one before. That's for sure. Playing across the way here on the basketball court.
I got a wicked jump shot.
Big one there for St. Anthony's because Malvern had momentum, right? And now it's a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, the junior from Brightwaters. Big game for Army today, playing Loyola. Army beat Navy last week.
Is that a big game?
Oh,
I'm not.
Look at this kid's stick.
Malvern prep goes quick, and there's the finish by Lukovic.
Dylan, we're seeing some high-level lacrosse studs out there. This GB by Del Vescovo off the wing is why he's one of the best sophomore long sticks in the country. One coach in college called him awesome. Well, what's awesome is that stick by the future Nittany Lion, Lukovic. Learned a lot under, Ortlieb was a great player for Malvern Prep at Duke now. really kind of helped Lukovic last year become the leader of the offense as a junior.
How much fun is this, huh? 6-5 now. Diorsa gets the face-off win. Richard gets it in.
I mean, you can't underestimate, right? You're a freshman, right, and you're facing off against one of the best teams in the country, and you're holding your own. That's got to be unbelievable for both him and his family in the stands.
And we spoke to Weisberg about it, right, about the situation. He said, he normally wouldn't want to go that route, bring up a freshman, especially playing a team like Malvern, right? But the cupboard was dry.
As a coach, that's the face-off X is one of the more demoralizing things that are out there, especially with injuries and things like that. And, you just want to make it feel like you're trying to get better, trying to fix it, and try to get more possessions. All hands on deck. This is a program, right? The freshmen, sophomores, all right, the JVs, right? It's a feeder for the varsity. If you can find somebody to help out, that's what you do.
I will say this about Jake. Doesn't look the part, right? Good size for a freshman. Here is Harrigan.
And that went into the decision, right? There's also some talented guys facing off in the freshman and JV, just not quite so physically big yet.
This will be a man up now for St. Anthony's, and Malvern McCready is not liking that decision. It'll be the second man up for the Friars.
Man up, St. Anthony.
It'll be a 30-second for St. Anthony's. I did it again. So Harrigan will start here. St. Anthony's 0 for 1 with the man up.
St. Anthony's starting a 1-4. Usually like to pop and roll out of it. 12 usually finds somewhere his way into the crease.
To that high-end real estate in front of the cage. That shot wide, no backup.
Yeah, so they popped out. They ran a wheel, got Cacciabato from the GLE. That's the guy who was at X and leads to no backup.
So if you get a good clear here, you'll kill the man down. And that's exactly what 7 does.
Yeah, let 51 initiate if you're Malvern.
George Laskowicz, another Penn State bound guy. Played behind Will Tantillo for a few years, right? He's now at Duke.
Yeah, athletically gifted. And sometimes coach says, like, he does his job. You take, like, what does that mean? No, well, he does his job, right? He's a vital piece of this Malvern team.
McCarthy behind to Lukovic, has McHugh hung up.
Second time we've seen a hung situation.
Kicks it up top to Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy, just a sophomore, lefty. Obviously high IQ, coach's kid.
Riley, a little bit behind McCarthy. No problem picking it up, though.
They love that, like, two-man slip type play. This third time they've gone to it. Yet to capitalize.
Good work by Jake Johnston as well. 10 on the shot clock. McCarthy. Here is Riley. Riley, top side, bouncer. That is wide. And with 2 seconds, McCracken will just airmail this one to the corner.
Job for the snack stand.
I saw an errant ball. They were working sideline to sideline, Malvern, working poles before the game. A ball bounces into the stands, caromed off the stands into the garbage can. It was amazing. I wish we were.
That's like that bottle flip thing as a kid. Like you can't. You try to keep replicating.
He has Cacciabato now in space. Rooney.
Jake Johnson's hands are ridiculous. He would have been an amazing goalie. I'm telling you. I don't know if he played as a youth player, but his ability to scoop short hops off the turf. Seen it 30 times.
Timeout. St. Anthony's here with 90 seconds remaining in the first half. A fun first half as well as we'll show you the upcoming schedule for these two teams. First for St. Anthony, since we have them on our screen. Listen, look out for the Gales, right? Iona Prep is the real deal this year. Evander Holyfield. So they'll come to town here, and then you go out to Lawrenceville, and that's the game that Weiserick is like, I hope Lenigro, Robbie Johnson, somebody there is back. You take on Kellenberg, and then you go up under the lights there at Darien. Always a fun matchup against one of the perennial powerhouses in Connecticut.
Just a murderer's row type schedule. You just got to embrace it.
As we take a look at what's next for Malvern Prep now, and more of your local schedule, if you will, at least the beginning, with Springside, Chestnut Hill, and Germantown. And then Del Barton will come to town. What a game that would be, huh? And then that rivalry. You always circle. It's interesting what they do there as opposed to what St. Anthony's and Chaminade does here. They play twice, Haverford and Malvern Prep. And they might even meet a third time as well in their conference tournament. So those are always highly anticipated, one of the best lacrosse rivalries in the country. Del Barton, another team, too, that's up there. We'll show you the current top 25 rankings later on in the show, but all of those teams right there. That's what makes this so much fun.
Yeah, and what it becomes just like matchups, like certain matchups, like how do certain teams stack up against other teams and where are the strengths and weaknesses. And I've never seen so many overtime or one-goal games in the top 20 as we have this year.
Yeah, and so I follow it closely, and you bring in like the Deerfields and the Tafts and the Choates and like Loomis Chafee, and like they're all beating each other as well. There's no real like clear-cut necessarily best team in the country.
Just shows you how many good players there are out there.
Here's Harrigan. To Rooney inside the final minute. Look out, Dale from behind.
Look at these two sophomores.
Dale hands off. Harrigan! Top shelf!
Well-placed shot, top corner. When they need a big goal, 88 is usually the guy with it in his stick. Nice pass by Dale. Boop! Top corner. No one's getting that. Well placed. Buzz in the tower. Dylan Harrigan.
Second of the game for him. 12th of the year.
You know, he's one of those guys, played a lot of attack last year, started this year at midfield. Seems like he's back down playing attack. Doesn't matter where he plays because he can stick the rock.
Diorsa battles there again, and Richard with the GB. And a timeout for St. Anthony's. And we'll show you, we mentioned it before, an opportunity to take in USA Lacrosse's national top 25. Culver saw them, right, early on. They are excellent. Loomis Chafee, 6-0 in the year. Brunswick, another team that is always up there. Episcopal, St. Anthony's beat them in overtime. Lawrenceville is coming up on the schedule. Deerfield having a great start to their season. Del Barton was really good when we saw them. Malvern Prep checking it at 8. St. Sebastian's from Mass, 6-0. Western Reserve as well from Ohio. That's your top 10. There's St. Anthony's and Chaminade coming in right behind them. Calvert Hall. How about Garden City, huh?
Yeah,
First
Coach
public
Fennell,
school.
the boys are rolling.
7-0 on the year.
Huge win versus Massapequa.
Tabor Hill School, Taft. See St. John's, D.C., LaSalle, and the final 5 teams in the top 25. Choate, Avon, Old Farms, Loyola, Blakefield. Hey, how about Pressler's boys from Highland Park? 13-1 on the year.
just unbelievable. I mean, that's what you see is with these teams. You see a lot of like college guys going back to coach these squads, and not only do you have an array of talent, but you have some of the best coaches in the country. You know, and that's why I think you have so many close games, because talent versus talent, but you got some real great minds on the sidelines.
All right, you're a great mind. So 32 seconds left here. What do you want from St. Anthony's?
I'm going to dodge here. I might use a little pick or a rub, but if you're going to get it through X, look for a quick movement.
Johnston up top to Rooney.
Catch, there it is, a little rub here.
Harrigan, sidearmed.
Yeah, so you didn't set the pick. I like to call those flybys where you think maybe a pick's coming, maybe you can hesitate the defender. But watch 12 inside. You're going to look to draw a slide, maybe feed it inside.
Atkinson pumps the brakes. The kick out, Rooney, low bouncer. And no backup. And not the worst, too, because you have 5.6. Plaze will just airmail this one down for a Hail Mary of sorts as the quarter and the half comes to an end. Hey, listen, so we said this at the very beginning, right? This is high-level lacrosse. These are dudes you're going to watch on the ACC network, on the Big Ten network, on ESPN, and the big dogs for both teams, they have delivered here this afternoon.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous move, right? Both Dannies have been tremendous. Rooney and Riley have been unbelievable, seeing why they're as highly ranked as they are. You add 88 into the mix. Harrigan also heading to Maryland. Hey, you want to be a goalie? Try to stop that. Unbelievable shot, well placed. Great assist by the Super Soft. We got talent all over the field here, just dripping.
St. Anthony's by 2 at the break. You're watching on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And it's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Merrill, he's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field, getting set for the start of the second half, and St. Anthony's with a 7-5 lead over Malvern Prep. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper here. Let's bring in some first half stats for you, Soap.
Yeah, 7-5 on the scoreboard. St. Anthony's 26 shots, have done a good job generating offense, 5 saves, right? Plaze has been very good for Malvern. Face-off advantage, I think if your St. Anthony's, you're happy with those numbers. Some good scrapping at the X, 9 for 15 from Malvern. They got a double-headed monster with McDermott and Conley there, and 0 for 2 for St. A's on the power play, not backing up the net one time, probably something they talked about, and 1 for 1. That was a nice man-up goal by Riley, center crease.
And so here's some of those moving images, right? Danny Rooney, what a first half he had.
Yeah, just absolutely, assaulting the net. Great save there, BTB, right? Plaze's been very good. Nice rollback coming from McCarthy. Bam, low to high, nice shot. Rooney, this one's going to be just uses the rub pick, shoots it low and away. His accuracy has been very good so far. Great save by Zank, stomping on that one. Riley really kind of took over in the second quarter. Look at this. Jump shot, right, by Schneider. Unbelievable shot by Lukovic as well. Malvern kind of, got it to 1. Great finish to the second half by St. Anthony's. We're in for a crazy good second half.
Facing off for St. I almost said Friars again. For St. Anthony's, Jake Diorsa. What a job he did here. Scrapping, winning a few clean.
Faced off for Cary, a public school in Nassau County as an 8th grader.
That a clean win for TJ McDermott.
Yeah, you see the quickness of McDermott, a junior. Richmond's done a very good job getting top talent. We see them, Matt Crawford, the lefty. We saw Mikey Marino the other day for Bosco. Someone told me that Richmond just gets legit guys, and we've seen it the last 2 games here on the Varsity Media.
And they seem to get a lot of them too, right?
They're going to get more and more now when you're 10-1
really.
in the top 5. And if you haven't been on that campus, I challenge
beautiful.
you to find a more beautiful school.
Great facilities too. Helps to have the football team there, of course.
What a cool logo, the spiders. I mean, come on.
Here's Joey Murphy. The skip. Step down, rip. A heat check for Jamie McCracken.
McCracken, the top corner. Great skip pass. The junior heading to Brown. You see he shoots the ball with 2 hands. What a great skip. You see the IQ by Joey Murphy. That's some range right there by McCracken, the future Brown Bear, to play for Coach Torpy.
He is a junior, but great vocally, a big leader of this team. As this time, Cook will get the win as jumping was Connolly for Malvern.
So Murphy did a great job there, kind of went to like a 1-4 set, and you help with the 2 slide to the crease, right? He found the skip lane, hit McCracken, and McCracken did the rest.
Just spotted 2 of the best girls lacrosse players in the Northeast. Emma Speed and Anna Christie getting set. They play after this one. One of the top teams in the country, St. Anthony's girls. Rooney now, he's got Novak hung up. The feed, Harrigan!
Those 2 guys just have, for high school, right, they just have tremendous chemistry with each other. Both seniors, right, one from Manorville, the other from Syosset. It's great that they're going to go play college lacrosse together because this is just the innate ability to know where each other are going to be. Rooney puts it on his stick. Harrigan finishes it. We've seen that a lot the last 2 years for the guys in white. Just don't hurt yourselves, young men.
Yeah. Harrigan with 3 now. Rooney has 4 and 1. And this one, still a battle. Some terrific polls for both of these teams.
Yeah, Piffeth, what a great ground ball.
Rudloff, the one more. And Zank makes the save.
Huge save, right? St. Anthony's needed it. I think Zank needed it. That was a high-level save by the Air Force commit. Said this is a no-fly zone.
He denied Murphy on that one.
Yeah, we see how quickly Malvern can get into transition. Great extra pass.
Yeah, so much of that was from Eddie Rudloff, the Drexel commit. He's a guy, he's going to go play short stick D-midi at Drexel. He wasn't initially. He was a Fogo, and they said, wait a minute. Look at what you're doing on the short stick defensive side. You're a pit bull there. We want you to play there.
Drexel has some really good ones right now, and he's going to.
Murphy goes low, and Zank another save.
Yeah, 2 good saves, Zank. You see how comfortable he is going down low. 2 great 5-hole saves for him.
Kind of bailing him out there on the clear was Harrigan.
Harrigan's just a complete player. He finishes, he rides. He's great in the clear game.
And you love the decision, right, by Weiserick and his staff. He was running in the midfield, but you want to get him more touches, so they bumped him down to attack. And I feel like since that's changed, you get him and Rooney now being on that same page together, and both have elevated their game since that move.
And just, as an attackman, you don't come off the field, right? You just want to keep a guy like that on the field the entire time.
Yeah, keep this guy going. Rooney, his 5th.
I got 5 on it, says Rooney. Last year we saw 6 goals by Jake Johnston, a fellow senior. Just speed, right? Again, speed with that little hesitation, using those rub picks. What a great game plan by the St. Anthony's staff. Schreiber, Weiserick, freeing up their best guys to shoot the rock.
9-6 the lead for St. Anthony's. Diorsa. First varsity game. Part of an open audition. I'm not sure if they made an announcement in school, but face-off guys, head to the field for an open competition.
And that's what, how many years are we talking about? 21 Catholic League championships. That's a gutsy move by Coach Weiserick and the staff to make a move like that. Not every coach is making a move like that.
Here's Harrigan. Atkinson. He's done such a great job. You mentioned those picks. More often than not, it's number 8 providing them.
Just a smart player. Lacrosse family as well. He's heading to Bryant to play for Coach Ross.
Rooney low. Plaze with the save.
Yeah, great save by him. Went down low. Just feel like Malvern needs to get a goal here.
Well, more often than not, when you do, you go to 5-1, right?
Yeah, and St. Anthony's has been real comfortable having Richard play him.
That's the matchup right now. It's Riley. Good job by Richard to match feet.
Right, Dill, some guys just look different. Like, we've seen a lot of good players. 51 is just different.
The skip from him. Murphy. McCarthy. A lot of movement, as you mentioned. But good defense by St. Anthony's. McCarthy tries to spin, getting nowhere on Johnston. That was all 7-7 in white. That was a low roller wide of the net.
Yeah, you see why Johnson's, the captain of this team. Just absolutely born with Lax DNA. You got the Emmer bloodline running through him. Not shocking. He's tough, tenacious on the ball. And just an absolute winner.
Yeah, I think he'll fit in pretty well over at Hopkins.
Just like curious to see how he projects and position-wise.
Now Zank. Here's Mancaruso. McCready's again beside himself, thinking that St. Anthony's was offside. Good to see Mancaruso back out. As now this is your second midfield line. There is Snyder, Sean Ronayne as well as Mancaruso.
St. Anthony's has 9 goals. It's kind of where they like hit the stall. they kind of slowed down.
Yeah, not today, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Coach Weiser's going to be very happy to see that scoreboard hopefully get into double digits if you're a fan of the white team.
Rooney off the bounce. Blows a tire, recovers well. Here's Gavin Snyder.
Going against Leskowski again, Penn State.
Snyder lowers the shoulder. The feed, the spinorama. No, Caciabato in the crease.
Only thing keeping Caciabato from his 20th was referee Brendan Wallace.
So we go the other way now.
I really like that kind of elevation of Gavin Snyder's game, that feeding ability he's shown. He's got that 6'2" frame.
And by the way, keep an eye on this kid. He's not even made film yet. 37 at the end of second. Swim move, bouncer. That was wide by Brady Wayland. 37 in gray, Kane Pramonti. A freshman it feels like everyone is talking about.
He's exceptionally good, great talent, 2029.
There he is, little shake and bake. And the feed. If you are a freshman playing, getting minutes at Malvern Prep, you are legit. Onderdonk. I haven't really called his name too much today.
Yeah, senior. One of those guys who's really earned his time.
And what Pramonti has done there is he's earned a man up for Malvern.
Yeah, Sean Tasillo, the junior short stick midi.
See it here, Soap.
Yeah, just, those hands got to be a little closer together. Good slide.
This is 2 minutes locked in.
2 minutes, man up, Malvern.
Wallace saying it was to the face. I don't know if we have another chance to see that. Here we see it again. See, that's what you could see the argument that Weisberg is saying. It went to the shoulder and then to the face.
Yeah.
Not direct contact to the head.
It's a tough call. Either way, I can see a little bit both sides.
So what a moment this is now. Malvern, man up for 2 minutes regardless. They try to feed the crease. Richard picks it up. Can he get the clear? Brody Richard, the punt return.
Future Tiger run.
He just makes big plays. Basco goes for the tying goal, and who was in the grill there to make the play to win the game? It was Brody Richard.
Just stuffed the dodge. You hate going man down, but sometimes a man down stop, a big stop, is just huge for momentum.
So that clock, you see it there as it approaches 3 minutes. 1:55 is the time you want to keep an eye out for. That's when that penalty is released.
Yeah, so there's enough time. If there was 15, 20 seconds, you might just let him become even here.
And also, again, to remember, it's a shot clock, right? So St. Anthony's can't just wind this down. They've got to also, ideal for them is if you get something on cage, rebound, pops out, you get it.
Yeah, 77's so slippery. Even with a double, he can split it. Next thing you know, you have transition.
Johnson, good read there by Plaze to pick off that attempted pass for Atkinson. But look at Atkinson trying to ride it back.
Good scrap.
Yeah, good one. Leskowski comes away. So you did enough there for St. Anthony's to just about kill this. as in 5 seconds we'll be even. And we are now. Errant pass, scooped up by Herron.
He's been so good in the clear game this year for St. Anthony's. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
is that McCracken?
Well, the finish, we know that by Riley. But what a play in the midfield. Riley gets his third. But as you said, that all starts.
I think that's Jamie McCracken who went full Superman.
Let's see if we could show that to you. And watch it again. Look at that.
The Mets could use that.
Unfortunately,
Oh, the
he
Phillies.
won't get an assist on that.
Yeah, that's a great play. You heard some of the parents, they recognized them, said, great play, Jamie. You get it into the hands of Danny Riley. Most likely you're going to be facing off with a one-on-one.
Yeah, Lukovic had the assist. He's got 2 and 2. Riley now with 3. And again, 2-goal game. Diorsa, face-off win. Johnston helps him out there. And now a chance. Pole goal, no! Plaze with the save.
Transition the other way.
Inside, we're coming close to the final minute now of the third quarter.
If you're Malvern, you want to get the last shot here. You would love to go into the fourth quarter 9-8 with momentum.
And there's McCracken.
Huge save, right? Plaze. That was James Griffin, the junior Navy pole commit.
Here comes Riley downhill. Riley! Eaten by Herron.
Yeah, he's feeling it. That's what being a goalie feels like, Pat. Great look by Zank.
Mancaruso. It's been a while since we've seen Anthony Mancaruso. He's dealing with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, senior heading to UNC. Dad played football at Georgia Tech.
Snyder. Harrigan. Rooney. The skip. Cachabato. Still got this shot off.
And that's the end of the third
Yeah,
quarter.
probably would have counted too. It was really close.
Malvern 7.
What a game we have here at St. Anthony's, a 2-goal lead. A big reason why. Rooney will count down the goals for you here.
Another pick set. I think that was Ronayne. 4
1,
goal.
2, 3. Count them, Rooney.
1
5.
to the 3 to the 4 to the 5.
9-7, the lead for St. Anthony's. Fourth quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
For over 25 years, award-winning Innovative Kitchens has helped Long Island homeowners create kitchens and baths defined by timeless design, exceptional craftsmanship, and effortless functionality. Discover cabinetry curated to your lifestyle and budget, paired with premium countertops, and complete your space with thoughtfully selected fixtures and cabinet hardware, all coordinated by one experienced team for a seamless start-to-finish experience. We are now your go-to wallpaper store as well. Visit our new expanded showroom today, and when scheduling a design consultation, mention if your child attends St. Anthony's High School for a special discount. And maybe if you mention you know Danny Rooney, maybe you get 5% off in addition to that.
McDermott for Malvern, Jake Fiorso for St. Anthony's.
Opening face-off of quarter number 4. And this one will go to Malvern Prep and TJ McDermott. This one has been back and forth, so kind of as advertised. You understand why these two programs are like, can we just do this every year now? It's been the case since McCready's has been the head coach. This is the 4th consecutive years these two teams have met. St. Anthony's winning 2 of the first 3. Bramoff can't catch up to that one, so it'll stay with Malvern Prep.
Yeah, that third bounce is always a doozy. Kind of side spin on that. Looked like Bramoff had it tracked.
Here's McCracken. Last go on him. And they'll stop the clock for a shot clock issue. They had reset the shot clock, and they'll have that correction here.
If you're Malvern, I know you're coming to the game. You want to be selective but aggressive. I think you're going to have to see them get a little more aggressive shooting the ball. I'm not sure they put enough on Cage to really test Zenk so far.
So the shot clock is at 54 seconds. As we will restart with Riley and Richard. This has been a fun matchup all day. Riley spins, kicks it out. Here's McCarthy. Gets top side. Hands off. Heron. St. Anthony's doing a great job.
Yeah, good handle. That's George Irish, the sophomore, out there, right-handed shooter.
His two brothers playing at Lafayette right now.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in him. This is a big possession, having him out there.
Riley dumps it off to McCarthy with 15 on the shot clock. He'll take Gavin Johnston behind. He lost it.
Yeah, a little crowbar check. Gavin Johnston's so good at that little wrap check at GLE. Great job by Zenk.
Look at this.
Pouncing on the GB.
Bramoff and Novak.
Pair of 11s.
Put him in the main ring in the MMA.
Novak not joking around.
Still loose. Novak comes flying in.
There's the Richmond commit.
And now some numbers. McCready's wants him to go fast.
Great.
He knows something about playing fast back in his day, right?
Yeah, he coaches for the Chaos, right? That GB scrum was chaos.
The PLL training camp is coming up. It's going to be in Philly. So McCready's like, maybe I'll just have my Chaos guys just show up unannounced at practice one of these days. Here's McCracken, goes low, and that's wide. And hey, listen, St. Anthony's had a great visitor the other day, right? Brennan O'Neill coming to town, coming back to town. He comes for summer camp, and Weiserick said it's like Taylor Swift shows up. Like, it's just everyone wants an autograph. Everyone wants a picture taken.
They're called Swifties. What do we call them? Brennans?
O'Neillys?
O'Neillys?
And the kid's so humble. I say kid, right? He's a man, but look at this. This guy's a man too. The freshman.
He's only a freshman, folks. Exceptionally good, confident. We saw him draw a foul.
Kane Pramonti with the finish.
Big Daddy Kane.
Malvern goals.
Just again, another pick used. Finds the top corner. Kids pumped up. We've seen freshmen on both sides making impacts.
And now for the second time this week, another one of these battles. It's a 9-8 game in the fourth quarter.
Still stuck at that 9 number, Dill.
Face-off win for Connolly, and now Malvern a chance to tie here. But to kind of put a bow on that O'Neal conversation, he actually asked Weiserick, is it okay if I come back? He's like, dude, you want to coach? You can coach. Like, whatever. Don't have to ask me. He said, you mean on the sideline is okay? He's like, yes. Can I speak to the team? Like, whatever you want, big man. Loose ball. And there'll be a push. Malvern parents wanted the first push. They'll get the second one, though.
How about Malvern putting the freshman Prementi right back out there?
There he is. With all the firepower, you know he's going to draw the short stick, which he does there. And now a hung situation behind the cage. Here's Riley and Johnston. Riley spins it back to his left and fires home the tying goal.
He's showing off his wide range of skills, right? We've seen him dodge right-handed. We've seen 2 goals left-handed. Just a very tough cover. Rolls back to that left, gets his hands free, punches away. Just a well-placed shot. Seniors step up at big times. Only fitting. We have Friars versus Friars, and we're tied at 9.
I told you at the beginning, a lot of Friar power out here.
You were friered up this morning.
Another freshman for St. Anthony's now facing off. Jake Diorsa against Connolly. You've got to hold St. Anthony's ball. Here's Richard. Absolutely harassed. Oh, he went for the cage. Surprised everybody there. Shot clock reset as the possession stays with St. Anthony's. Cachabato back to Harrigan and up top to Dale. The super sophomore, 5 stars on his name. Dale pumps the brakes.
He's not surprising anybody. He's on everyone's scouting report. Quick slides.
Yeah, it worked against Culver, and then after that, after game 1, the scouting report is out for sure. Dale, though, he can fire from distance. That's right in to Plaze's stick.
Yeah, Plaze, easy one for him.
Skowski with the clear.
I mean, what a great name. You called him a pit bull, right? Rudloff. Rooney was dodging there. Strong hands by number 6 heading to Drexel. Absolute locker room guy from Malvern Prep.
Chase Deaves on Dale. Deaves! Oh, what a save.
Yeah, great save off hip. Looks like Deaves got a little banged up there. The senior heading to Washington Lee can sling the rock no more as a man-up specialist, but we saw his dodging ability there.
McCarthy back to Deaves. Deaves the feed to X. The quick one back out. Takes a deflection. Of course, it'll be 51 who recovers.
Great call.
Yeah, really good timeout by Malvern Prep.
Timeout, Malvern.
Heron Law proudly wishes St. Anthony's varsity boys lacrosse a successful 2026 season. Heron Law offers personal goal-oriented legal services built on faith, family, and home, with offices in East Islip and Hauppauge. During this timeout, a chance here to take a look at, and there's a lot of them, guys who are playing next level right now for these teams. First soap for the boys from Malvern.
Yeah, you kidding me with this list, right? Eric Spanos, 140 points at Maryland. He only had 8 goals this year, Dill, against Michigan. 6'5", just an absolute stud. Joe Sheridan was, I'll mention, All-American for Richmond. 30 goals last year, 22 this year. Ortlieb, 5-star, right? 18 goals, 12 assists for Duke this year.
As a freshman.
Yeah, unbelievable starting on for them. Brad Piffith was seen his brother today. Kevin, just an absolute stud for Coach Tambroni, as well as Patrick Keenan. Penn State, right? They had a big win against Rutgers last night. They have the ability to beat anyone in the country.
Spanos going PLL, so is Michael Leo.
Yeah, Leo, unbelievable. Duffy, Snyder, Spidell, Vidaro. Are you kidding me with this list? Just unbelievable talent. Not just, playing for these programs, but making big impact. If Carolina goes on the run, you might have the Tewaaraton winner there on that list.
So good timeout there from Malvern. They'll restart from in front of their own bench with Lukovic, who kicks it out top to McCarthy.
Watch the rollbacks if you're St. Anthony's. Had some success, Malvern, with rolling back.
There's that man again, Riley.
Yeah, roll back. Showing the ability to get to the middle of the field.
15 on the shot clock.
Got to dig in if you're St. Anthony's on defense. Zenk's going to need to make a big stop.
Lukovic the kick out. Here's McCarthy with 6. Low to low. Zenk makes the save. No rebounds.
Yeah, got to have it, right? Late in the clock. Shot from range. Zenk does exactly what he needs to do.
Good job reversing it to Bramoff now. To Johnston. Turns the corner. To Richard. Good job by St. Anthony's to get the clear. What did Weisberg say the other day? He's like, we need to clear better. We got to, hang on, let me look at Huddle. Oh, we cleared it 90, 80, 88%. He's like, I'm being too hard on my guys. He's expecting 100%. Atkinson. 9-9 the score. Final 5 of regulation.
Oh, what a check.
Harrigan dispossessed by Piffeth.
Little one-handed poke.
We go the other way.
We just mentioned his brother, Brad at Penn State. Kevin says, look at me. Just well-timed, get that poke in there. Dislodge the ball. Not easy with the technology of these sticks.
And how great is this matchup now? You've got Johnston drawing Riley. And now Richard on McCarthy. McCarthy the feed. Low to high snipe by Joey Murphy.
Yeah, we saw a great assist earlier by Murphy. We see what he's known for. Lefty sniper, real efficient shooter. I think that these dodges have put a lot of pressure on the St. Anthony's defense. Maybe a little ball watching. You can't ball watch a coach's kid. They know how to find space.
Yeah, Dad Mike, former UPenn coach you mentioned before, defensive coordinator for Malvern Prep, watches his boy Joey score his first of this game, and what a time to get it. 10-9 is the score.
Yeah, the go-ahead goal. But that heavy, midfield dominated dodging by Malvern really set that up.
Heron forces the turnover.
Yeah, huge check by him. That would have been, the ability to milk a shot clock there.
Let's see if St. Anthony's here.
I don't know what his stats are clearing for the year, but Heron, I think, is over close to 100%.
I was going to say, I thought maybe St. Anthony's might call a timeout here, but they're going to let it go here. 3:34 left. Gavin Snyder back on, Atkinson on.
Yeah, I think you think about calling one if you get into some trouble here. This is a tight game. You definitely would love to have two of them, with 2 minutes to go. Any sign of danger, though, look for them to take one.
Snyder. Here is Rooney. 5 on the day for Danny Rooney. Draws the Novak.
Yeah, they've done a much better job on those picks, keeping hands on Rooney.
Snyder.
Leskowski's tough, man. On the ball,
They
just
got to go now. 9 in the
gritty.
shot. Johnston. GLE. Johnston dives in. Is it a goal? Was he in the crease? It is a goal. Air Jake.
He never, every time you come watch this kid, there's something new, there's something different. The poise that he has, the big playability. He's a winner. The kid wins, makes big plays. We highlighted him in the beginning as our impact player. When St. Anthony's needs something, 7-7 usually delivers.
How hard was that, right? Just to avoid the crease. You saw him kind of angle himself as he went to the ground.
Yeah, and you had, Malvern's known for their defense. You had 3 poles converging on him. The awareness to get your shot off on cage.
So McDermott, big face-off win there. Malvern with the ball, tied at 10. Here's Riley. The feed. That one off the mark by Lukovic.
You just see Riley, how much space he creates for himself with his dynamic athletic ability. His hands free to shoot or feed. This is McHugh right back from injury.
Murphy had the go-ahead goal for Malvern. Back out to Riley. Riley blocked in front. Think Herring get a piece.
Yeah, you're thinking roll back. He goes S-dodge, gets under. If I'm Malvern, I want the ball in 51 stick with 1:46 to go.
And they will use this timeout.
Timeout, Malvern.
As you would expect, we showed you next level guys, a lot of guys who will play next level for both of these programs. Let's take a look at Malvern Prep's list.
Yeah, just a litany of great programs, great players, right? Loyola, we see Washington, Lee, ODAC, Notre Dame playing Duke today, St. Joe's. Who do they got today? Richmond, right? A big game, right? Richmond we see on the list. Penn State, Drexel, McCracken. What a great play by him, but we're going to see that on the Instagram later, right? Villanova, just Merrimack, just the list goes on and on. Coach had a tough time, right? Trying to give us, because he has so many guys, I think over 60 guys playing Division I.
And St. Anthony's with a ton as well. There you see the list.
Yeah, Richard. Hopefully Lenigro and Johnson can get back healthy. Rappaport, great goalie. Him and Zenk have been rotating. Hecht, we haven't seen him. Rutgers commit. Again, the Maryland boys, the third goalie, Jack Neary, right? Jacksonville, Griffin, joined Heron at Navy. Oh, it keeps going.
Yeah, Filiberto is going to be up at Bonnie's.
Yeah, UNC. You just listen. You play travel lacrosse. You go to a program like Malvern at Malvern Prep and St. Anthony's. There's a school for everyone. So many different levels to this, from top D1 to D3 to even great club options.
All right, so they reset the game clock to 1:47, and there is 30. Well, they'll wind down the shot clock.
We've definitely seen McCarthy, 23, and Riley really become the initiators for this Malvern offense.
And there's Riley off the restart.
Set play coming. There it is.
McCracken feeds it. The second opportunity. Zenk is there.
Yeah.
Murphy couldn't get it loaded the first one.
Yeah, that was a set play. Nice one. It was wing dodge to X to the wing to a front swing by Murphy, the left-handed sniper. Just ran out of real estate and angle.
And Bramov gets it across and calls a timeout. 1:20 left. 10-10 is the score. As we take a look at the last 3 years for these programs, and it's super interesting, I think, here, because you see St. Anthony's, they end their year with a championship, right? They beat Chaminade to do it in each of those 3 years. You see 12-1 3 years ago, 13-2, and the great comeback win last year at Hofstra to finish that 13-4 season. But when you look at Malvern Prep, the synergies or the similarities are there. We said it about the programs, but they've got their rivalry with Haverford, and the last 3 years, they've played those guys on their last game of the year. Different competitions, right? They won in the Inter-AC Tournament Championship there in 23, played in the National Prep Championship, won that one in 24 to complete a 21-3 season. And last year, again, beating Haverford. 18-8 was the year last year for Malvern Prep.
Just unbelievable, right? Malvern loses a guy like Ortlieb, who's starting on attack for Duke. St. Anthony's losing guys like Merrill, McDonald, Ruddy, Massaro, Kelton, Inzerillo, and they're just reloaded again. And here we are, 10-10. Just an unbelievable game.
So last year, actually, they lost in that PAI SAA state championship to Haverford 12-11. The year before that, we said in that national prep, they beat Haverford 9-6. 9-5 was the year before that in the Inter-AC. Let's see what the Friars, St. Anthony's Friars, have drawn up here.
Yeah, look for some kind of screen or kind of flyby type pick. Try to get a little bit of space, maybe draw a slide, look to dump it inside to Johnston.
Inside the final minute now of regulation.
Or Cacciabato.
Atkinson. Here is Rooney.
There's your little pick. Got to switch.
Atkinson!
Just well executed. They've been using this pick game all day, and now they kind of, they a little slip, right? This is what you work on every day in practice, these 2-on-2 scenarios. Watch this textbook two-man game. Rooney assisted to Atkinson, known for his left hand, steps down with his right, gives St. Anthony's a lead.
Billy the Kid with the finish, 42.4 seconds left. From a town known as Fort Salonga, Long Island.
Lasco facing off here, the pole.
And he wins it. Now Richard.
Should have one.
Runs right to his sideline. Timeout, St. Anthony's.
Timeout, St. Anthony's.
Are you not entertained?
We see a great move by the St. Anthony's coaching staff. Put Lasco, who's been a terror this year for opponents. BU, known for his effort, 4-star player, faces off, gets the GB, gets it to Richard, who seems to always be the finisher for St. Anthony's.
By the way, for Atkinson, as we take a look again, the Bryant commit, goal number 4 on the season. Saying I can go right too, by the way.
I just love how, you're all game you've been using that pick to get the sweep for the shot, and now you throw back to the slip, kind of like a pick and roll. Well done, well drilled. Great time to use it.
Well, Soap, you and I have a fun week ahead, right? Tuesday, we've got a doubleheader here. Iona Prep is coming here. You and I will be at Chaminade for Chaminade New Canaan. Then on Thursday, a little Port Washington Massapequa action. On Friday, UMass UPenn. How great is that going to be?
We can eat, sleep, drink lacrosse this week, Dill.
Hang on, I'm not done yet. We've got a doubleheader on Saturday, a week from today. East Islip, Massapequa, And then Riegsrock with Chaminade Manhasset. Get some rest. So they will double Johnston.
He's slippery. Look for him to try to split this.
Plaze out of the cage to defend Rooney.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnston lost it.
Oh.
He goes in front. Oh, look out! Hockey shot! The playoffs start today! Jake Johnston.
Yeah, the only 7-7 I can think of is Pierre Turgeon, right, for the Islanders, but unbelievable job. Just gets it taken away. Again, you say winner, it's just because he never quits. His IQ is through the roof. His passion for the game is through the roof.
So that's an 0-0, but then you saw the bounce, right? And it gets towards front of the cage, and now it's just who wants it, right? Like, who's going to get it? Who's more determined than, I don't know if there's anybody more determined than 77 in white.
Yeah, last year, 31 goals, 40 points, GB machine, leading them as a senior. We've seen the last two games, the seniors step up for St. Anthony's.
All right, Malvern's going to get something quick. Jake Johnston, of course. He gets the turnover. Return the sender. Zanks going right back at you, Plaze. As now some words exchanged at the end. There was a late shot against Jake Johnston, and that's why there was a discussion. And I think the best thing that can happen here is those Malvern guys can just separate from the St. Anthony's guys. A lot of chirping going on.
You saw it during the game as well. These guys play club lacrosse against each other. They know it.
And it's still happening. I listen, we saw it, and we've seen a few occasions, right? A late hit and guys like Bramoff and others kind of backing up their guy. That was Jake Johnston who got the interception, got rid of it, and then took a late shot. And that's the reasoning for a little bit of these extracurriculars.
Yeah, let's not take away from a really great lacrosse game. Both teams competed to the end. We saw not only great team play, but individual play as well.
And these are two great staves. You just certainly hope that cooler heads prevail here. And that's what these huddles are for, right, Soap?
Yeah, there's always part of that game. You compete like wild men on the field, you know, kind of like the hockey playoffs, like you said, coming up. You know, hopefully both teams can shake hands.
So fourth consecutive year these two have met. St. Anthony's have won their third of four. But listen, you have a game like this, you battle the way you do for these four quarters. You could see why these two programs want to compete against each other year after year.
Please, everybody have a safe trip home.
So Malvern Prep, they will fall to 10-3 on the year. St. Anthony's, it's a 3-game winning streak as they improve to 6-3. They entered today's game number 11 in the country, Malvern 8. So we'll see how it affects the national rankings now going forward.
Good luck to Malvern this year. I know for a fact I'm gonna live like KT for the remainder of this year. Keep Malvern in my prayers. Just an unbelievable rally behind that young man. Prayers to him and his family. This is a great game, creator's game, medicine game. All it does is heal.
We'll take a quick break, and we will have our Innovative Kitchens Player of the Game when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field, as it is St. Anthony's 12-10 victors this afternoon against Malvern Prep. Time now for our Innovative Kitchens Player of the Game. For over 25 years, award-winning Innovative Kitchens has helped Long Island homeowners create kitchens and baths defined by timeless design, exceptional craftsmanship, and effortless functionality. Discover cabinetry curated to your lifestyle and budget, paired with premium countertops, and complete your space with thoughtfully selected fixtures and cabinet hardware, all coordinated by one experienced team for a seamless start-to-finish experience. We are now your go-to wallpaper store as well. Visit our new expanded showroom today. When scheduling a design consultation, mention if your child attends St. Anthony's High School for a special discount. And one guy we know who attends St. Anthony's High School, and I think Keith Weisberg wishes he could attend St. Anthony's High School for the next 5 years, is number 24 in white, Danny Rooney. He is our Innovative Kitchen Player of the Game.
Definitely cooking in the kitchen today. 5 goals, 2 assists, an absolute shooting clinic on how to pick apart corners. High, low, didn't matter. The big game-winning assist in the two-man game to Atkinson. The ability to use the screens. Just an all-around game. He showed off the versatility of his lacrosse game. Shooting was on point. Honorable mention to 77 Johnson as well. But Danny Rooney, heck of a game today.
Yeah, in this situation, you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen. That's fine. You can bring Jake into the kitchen as well. But congratulations to Danny Rooney. 5-2 on the game. How about 19-19 on the year? Terrific balance for the future Terp.
Yeah, he was both the appetizer and the main course. Started out hot, shooting in the first half, game-winning assist. All around, great player.
So this one, Soap, was as advertised. What a terrific game between two of the top programs in the country.
Rollback snipe, top corner.
Yeah, that was McCarthy.
He was great today, initiating. Rooney.
And how about Riley? What a game he had. Future Fighting Irish. And now Rooney. They're going to hope to see a lot of that in College Park as Harrigan with the finish, as these two would just go punch for punch.
Yeah, that was a great fourth quarter by Joey Murphy. They looked to get him on that set play. That was the play of the game. That desperation shot. How about Atkinson? Game winner. You know, if you had to throw up who do you think was going to be the game winner, Atkinson might not be on your bingo card, but Weiserick told us early in the season this team has depth, this team has athleticism, they're a cohesive group, and they love each other.
For our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Becca Kazaks, for Peyton Brophy and Steve Ferrandino, for my broadcast partner, Brian Soper, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from St. Anthony's. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.